It's been 20 years since the supernova blast hit our colonies.
Vase, examining it for a long time. Amazing, truly amazing. You can't even see the repair marks. This must be the work of Master Tao, right? Hou Yan just smiled without confirming or denying it. He didn't want to reveal that he had done the work himself. Qiu Chengzi didn't press the matter, assuming Hou Yan's silence was an acknowledgement. He and Xie Zhonglu took turns admiring the vase, unable to put it down, and constantly discussing it. After a while they remembered to consult Hou Yan, the expert. Hou Yan, what do you think is the origin of this piece? Old Jia thinks it belonged to a wealthy family. I believe it must have belonged to a prince or duke, Qiu Chengzi asked. In fact, Hou Yan knew everything about this piece, not just its origin but its entire history, including who made it. But Hou Yan couldn't reveal that. Look here, Hou Yan pointed to the base of the vase. This is an official kiln piece from the early Qing dynasty during Emperor Yongzheng's reign. The inscription reads, "Made in the great Qing Yongzheng era," in 6 neatly arranged characters. There's no doubt about it, this is an authentic imperial kiln piece. Setting the vase down, Hou Yan continued, because Emperor Yongzheng's reign was short, most porcelain from that time is considered rare. So I'd speculate this piece was from the imperial court. During the late Qing dynasty, when Puyi was forced out of the palace, someone must have taken it. And that person was likely someone of considerable status, given that they also owned gold coins and silver dollars from that era. Everyone nodded in agreement, and Su Waning beamed with joy. Hou Yan, how much do you think this would fetch at auction? Hou Yan shook his head. This is a true treasure. Talking about money feels a bit disrespectful, but I'd say it's worth at least 20 million yuan. With the right buyer, it could go for even more. Qiu Chengzi nodded. Indeed, Miss Su, if you're willing to sell, I'll buy it for 20 million. This isn't something you can just buy with money. Not selling, Su Waning hugged the vase tightly, as if afraid to lose it. Everyone laughed. As Qiu Chengzi said, the Su family didn't lack money. But a treasure like this isn't something you can easily buy. After a few rounds of drinks and some flattery from the others, Hua Shaoqiang said, Hou Yan, you fulfilled Miss Su's wish. When will you find something nice for me? Hou Yan glared at Hua Shaoqiang and snapped. You're insatiable. Haven't you gotten enough? Those 2 weapons I gave you are fine treasures, perfect for an amateur like you. Cherish them. Hua Shaoqiang thought about it and realized he was right. With Hou Yan's gifts, his trip to Jiangqing had been quite rewarding. Most importantly, he had gained Hou Yan's friendship and cooperation, which was the biggest prize. Compared to these things, Hou Yan's value was immeasurable. In the future, who knows what other treasures might come from their partnership. As the banquet ended, Su Waning pretended to see Hou Yan off, following closely behind him. Once the others had left, her smile faded. Tell me, what's your real motive behind such a grand gift? Without the others around, Hou Yan relaxed. Miss Su, surely you know your current status. I give you these gifts to ensure that when you help me, you don't have any second thoughts. I'm someone who can make you uncomfortable or comfortable, depending on what you want. You? Su Waning's chest heaved with anger. But she knew there was nothing she could do about Hou Yan. Recently, she had secretly consulted many experts and found nothing wrong with her body. But seeing Hou Yan's confident demeanor, she was convinced that her life was still in his hands. By the way, Hou Yan said, you're leaving tomorrow, right? I won't see you off. You know I'm quite busy. How you handle things when you get back is up to you. With that, Hou Yan drove off, leaving Su Waning staring at his retreating taillights. She stomped her foot in frustration. You just wait and see. The next morning, Hou Yan received a call from the police station informing him that the case involving Zhang Shi had been mostly resolved. Zhang Shi, as the mastermind, was sentenced to 3 years in prison for maliciously damaging property and fined 5 million yuan. The young men who had smashed the store were also given varying sentences, with the lightest being 1 year in prison and a fine of 100,000 yuan. The police asked for Hou Yan's opinion on the matter. Hou Yan didn't have much to say. People like this who disrupt social order deserve to be re-educated. The severity of the sentences didn't really matter to him. Whether the fines would actually be paid was also not his concern. After all, the main goal was to help Zhao Peng vent his frustration. So, Hou Yan informed Zhao Peng of the outcome via a simple message. Zhao Peng only replied with a brief okay without saying much else. This was exactly the response Hu Yan had hoped for. If Zhao Ping had thanked him, Hu Yan would have felt uncomfortable. With Su Waning now gone, Hu Yan had also fulfilled the promise he made to Qin Baxiang. After breakfast, he headed to Tianhai pawn shop. Coincidentally, Qin Zixuan was also at the pawn shop that day, as she hadn't gone out. By the time Hu Yan finished his work, it was already past 3 p.m. He had accumulated a lot of tasks over the past few days since he hadn't been working. After stretching, Hu Yan suddenly felt an irresistible urge. He tidied up a bit and went to Qin Zixuan's office. After knocking on the door, he heard a familiar yet somewhat distant voice from inside. "Come in." When Hu Yan entered, a hint of surprise flashed across Qin Zixuan's face, followed by a focused gaze that made Hu Yan feel a bit uneasy. "What are you staring at? It's only been a few days, have you forgotten who I am?" Qin Zixuan smiled and said, "I'm just checking if Su Wening skinned you alive." Hu Yan shook his head. "She's a proper lady, why would she do that?" "We got along quite well, at least." That was how Hu Yan felt. What Su Wening thought was a different matter. Qin Zixuan put down her pen and looked at Hu Yan with interest. "I'm just curious. Given Su Wening's personality, why did she make a point to call my father before she left, saying how well she got along with you and congratulating him on choosing such a good son-in-law? Maybe I'm just that good at everything." "What's so strange about that?" Hu Yan grinned as he sat across from Qin Zixuan. Show-off Qin Zixuan gave him a sideways glance. "So, what brings you here?" "Can't I come to see you for no reason?" Hu Yan said, his eyes taking on a somewhat mischievous look as he gazed at Qin.
I dare you to use our completely free Shopify AI.
Qin Zixuan. Suddenly, Qin Zixuan felt her face heat up, and she didn't know what to do with her hands. Just as she was about to say something to ease the tension, Hu Yan got up and moved closer. Feeling her heart race, Qin Zixuan warned, "Stop it. We're at the office." But Hu Yan didn't stop. Just as Qin Zixuan's heart was pounding and she was filled with nervous anticipation, Hu Yan stopped in front of her and picked up a document she had been writing. Qin Zixuan let out a sigh of relief, though she couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed. Watching Hu Yan engrossed in her handwriting as if it were more captivating than she was, Qin Zixuan couldn't resist giving him a light kick. "Great calligrapher. You didn't come here just to critique my handwriting, did you?" Hu Yan, snapped out of his trance by her kick, finally responded, "Of course not." Then he furrowed his brow. "This doesn't seem right. Why would it be like this?" Seeing Hu Yan so distracted, Qin Zixuan grew concerned. "What's wrong? Hu Yan, did something happen? Don't scare me." "Nothing," Hu Yan explained. "I was just thinking that with the Red Luan star aligning next year, it seems like the perfect time for you to get married. But I can't see myself achieving the feat of marrying you by next year." Hu Yan scratched his head and added, "Unless you're marrying someone else? If that's the case, all my efforts have been in vain." Qin Zixuan glared at Hu Yan fiercely. "Do you really think I'm that kind of person?" Hey, seeing that she was genuinely upset, Hu Yan quickly grinned. "Of course you're not. That's more like it. Mikey." But before Qin Zixuan could finish her sentence, Hu Yan added, "You're not. But your father might be. What if he forces you?" Qin Zixuan was so angry that her chest heaved with indignation. "Hu Yan." Before she could explode, Hu Yan quickly raised his hands in surrender. Okay. I was just joking." "Even as a joke, it's not funny," Qin Zixuan huffed. "Unless you don't want me anymore, I'm sticking with you for life." Seeing that she was genuinely upset, Hu Yan put his arm around her shoulders to comfort her. All right, my bad. Actually, I've been learning something new and wanted to test it out. I'm not sure how accurate it is yet." Qin Zixuan's interest was piqued. "What new skill?" Hu Yan, with a mysterious look, replied, "Guess." Qin Zixuan thought about what Hu Yan had just said, then gasped, covering her mouth with her hand. "Oh my god, you're not learning fortune-telling, are you?" Hu Yan gave her a thumbs up. "You're sharp. I think you might be better at it than I am." Qin Zixuan playfully punched Hu Yan's shoulder, but then noticed people outside the office. Remembering her recent close encounter with Hu Yan, her face flushed red. After pushing Hu Yan a few steps back, she asked, "So, what does my future hold?" Hu Yan looked at her and said, "You're so dismissive of me, why should I tell you?" He turned as if to leave. Qin Zixuan stomped her foot in frustration. "This is the office, what if someone sees us?" "It wouldn't look good," she muttered, her voice barely audible. "If no one's around when we go back, then..." He Yan rubbed his hands together. "You said it yourself, so don't back out later." Qin Zixuan turned away. You're always teasing me. Cough cough. Hu Yan cleared his throat and said, I see that your destiny is one that brings prosperity to your family and children. Hearing Hu Yan speak, Qin Zixuan's curiosity grew, and she couldn't help but listen attentively. Ho Yan continued, It's said that someone with your fate, where wood is refined and fire is tempered, is blessed with beauty and grace. Though Hu Yan was clearly flattering her, hearing such praise from the man she loved filled Qin Zixuan's heart with sweetness. You know it. With a fiancé as beautiful as me, you'd better not go chasing after other women. Unless it's an imperial order, I wouldn't dream of it, Hu Yan muttered. Qin Zixuan put her hands on her hips. What did you say? Ho Yan, feigning innocence, replied, Serving Su Waning was an order from your family, after all. Although this matter had bothered her, Qin Zixuan knew it was her father's doing, so she couldn't say much. All right, I'll give you that. Now, tell me more about my destiny. Ho Yan looked at the woman before him, her slightly helpless expression making her even more adorable, and he couldn't help but gaze at her in admiration. Seeing Hu Yan's reaction made Qin Zixuan happier than any sweet words could. The blush on her face was impossible to hide. Haven't you seen enough? Ho Yan, still lost in thought, shook his head. Even a lifetime wouldn't be enough. You smooth talker. Really? I don't think so, Hu Yan said, glancing at Qin Zixuan's rosy lips and licking his own. Want to try? Qin Zixuan turned away shyly. I'm not talking to you anymore. All right, I'm leaving then. Hu Yan really turned and started to leave. Wait, Qin Zixuan quickly called out. You haven't finished telling me about my destiny. Ho Yan turned back and said, Hey, don't I know you too well? If I tell you everything, you'll go back on your word. What did I promise? That when no one's around. Qin Zixuan stomped her foot, pushing Hu Yan out. Watching him shake his head and leave, Qin Zixuan leaned against the door, her heart still racing. It took her a long time to calm down. But then her phone buzzed with a notification. I'll be waiting for you at Yulangxiang private restaurant. The private rooms there are quiet, and no one will disturb us. Qin Zixuan's lips curled into a slight smile as she muttered, You bad guy. After leaving the office, Ho Yan thought about Zhang Xi's case and wondered if his sister Hu Jigaxin had been scared by the whole ordeal. It had been a while since he had seen her, so he decided to give her a call. You finally remembered to call me, big shot. Hey, Hu Yan chuckled awkwardly. You've grown up, so I'm just giving you some space, right? Yeah, right. I still miss the days when you'd nag me about whether I'd eaten well or slept enough. Ho Yan felt a pang of guilt for neglecting his sister lately. All right, that's on me. Is there anything you'd like to eat? Big brother's treating. That's more like it, Hu Jiaxing thought for a moment. HM, I want to eat mom's dumplings and dad's braised pork. Aren't you afraid of turning into a pig? You're so annoying. Hey, Hu Yan laughed and then fell silent for a moment. Actually, I miss mom and dad too. Ever since their parents found out that Hu Yan had married into the Qin family, they hadn't been happy and hadn't called him in a long time. Hu Jixin seemed to sense what Hu Yan was thinking. Actually, they still care about you. They ask about you every time we talk. Yeah, I know, Hu Yan replied. Your vacation is coming up soon. We'll go back together, and you can have all the home-cooked food you want. I can't fulfill that wish here. All right, Hu Jiaxing said. But as compensation, you'll have to treat me and Sister Yao to hot pot. Ho Yan was speechless. He was about to mention that he had plans with Qin Zixuan, but thinking about how he had neglected his sister lately, he couldn't bring himself to say it. All right, which place do you want to go? Hu Jiaxing thought for a moment. Let's go to Wula Hot Pot. It's snowing today, and eating hot pot by the river is the best. After agreeing, Hu Yan hung up the phone. After Hu Yan left, it took a long time for the blush on Qin Zixuan's face to fade. As she worked, she found herself humming a tune without even realizing it. When her secretary walked in, she asked, What's got you in such a good mood today, Ms. Qin? Qin Zixuan blushed again. Really? Isn't this how I am every day? The secretary replied, Not at all. You usually frown a lot. I've never seen you smiling and singing like this before. So which do you prefer? Of course this one. Seeing you like this makes me happy too. Qin Zixuan smiled and nodded. After the secretary left, her phone buzzed with a message. Change of plans. I'll pick you up for Wula Hot Pot later. Hu Jiaxin and Yao Ru are joining us. Qin Zixuan tossed her phone onto the desk in frustration. I was all ready. And now you say we're going for hot pot. She crossed her arms, nearly bursting the buttons on her blouse. Realizing that his private date with Qin Zixuan was likely ruined, Hu Yan decided to pick up Zhao Peng first, knowing his friend was probably in a bad mood. When Qin Zixuan got in the car, ready to give Hu Yan a piece of her mind, she spotted Zhao Peng in the back seat and quickly changed her demeanor to a cheerful one. She couldn't help it, giving her man face in front of others was something deeply ingrained in her. Zhao Peng. Long time no see, she greeted. Zhao Peng smiled politely. Yes, it's been a while. You're busy with important matters, and I've been hustling to make a living. It's hard to find time to meet. Qin Zixuan nodded and said no more. As she adjusted her seatbelt, she discreetly pinched Hu Yan's arm. Hu Yan knew he was in the wrong. He had worked hard to arrange some alone time with her, only to let it slip away because of a phone call. He could only endure the pinch, pretending it hurt without making a sound. Of course, Qin Zixuan didn't actually pinch hard, and Hu Yan, with his strength, hardly felt it. But his exaggerated reaction amused her and helped dissipate her anger. Without looking at him, she muttered under her breath, "See if you dare stand me up again." Hu Yan, keeping his eyes on the road, muttered back, "I'm more frustrated than you are. But what could I do? I haven't paid much attention to Hu Jixin lately, and when she asked me to take her out, I couldn't say no." Qin Zixuan understood. That was a reason she could accept. The weight of the Qin family's responsibilities was on her shoulders, and she wasn't overly possessive. She had always envied those with siblings. Seeing Hu Yan so caring toward his sister made her feel that he was someone who valued family, a quality she admired. She believed that in a relationship, if someone treated their family well, they would treat their partner well too. For her, Hu Yan's love for his sister only made him more lovable. Her annoyance quickly faded. "How's Jixin been? I'm sorry I haven't checked in on her lately." Hu Yan.
Bye.